Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including new Model 3 leaks, more Tesla price increases, Tesla's referral program returning, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, right as many are seeing their supercharger referral miles expiring, Tesla has officially relaunched their referral program in the US and other markets. It's structured differently now and located in the loot box section of the app. It's live in the app now if you go check. The main page shows how many of the new credits you have, lets you share your referral link, and then details how you earn credits. As a referrer, you get 3,500 credits for a Model S or X, 2,000 for a Model 3 or Y, and 9,000 for solar roof or panels. As a buyer, you get 2,500 for a Model S or X, 1,500 for a Model 3 or Y, and 9,000 for solar roof or panels. Then they have a loyalty section, which is essentially you using your own referral code. It's loyalty because you're staying with the Tesla brand and buying a new product. This is 6,000 for a Model S or X, 3,500 for a Model 3 or Y, and 9,000 for solar roof or panels. From there, the credits are redeemable for many things, which is an improvement over simply collecting miles in the past. For supercharger miles, though, they are worth a little less than before. 1,500 credits will get you 500 miles of supercharging. Still a great incentive. Then they have a new Cybertruck raffle for 500 credits. They have tons of products available to buy with credits from their online shop as well. And then vehicle upgrades. Enhanced Autopilot is 55,000 credits and FSD is 120,000 credits, among other things. That sounds like an insane amount of credits, but that package is $15,000. Overall, I'm happy to see this program return, and I think it'll be much more popular than before due to the various options of what you can redeem earned credits for. If you're going to buy a Tesla product soon, my referral link is now in the description below. For a Model Y, you'd get 1,500 credits, which could be 500 supercharger miles right away. Next up today, Tesla has done another small round of price increases. At this point, keeping up with price increases and decreases is like watching a stock. They dropped prices by $13,000 to $20,000 at the beginning of the year, raised them a tad, dropped them again, raised them a tiny bit, and now they've raised them a tiny bit again. The Model Y price is increased by $250. Tesla did a tiny $250 price increase in the last couple weeks while keeping inventory pricing the same, and now they've raised their configurator pricing another $250 for their most popular car. So you're looking at $47,490, $50,490, and $54,490 as the starting prices for Tesla's 3 Model Y configurations. And they've maintained the same discount for inventory cars. So right here, the same Model Y configured or purchased through inventory has a price difference of $250. All of these configurations qualify for a full $7,500 tax credit, and estimated delivery for each trim says June to July of this year. Wait time is much improved over what we were seeing last year, and that's most likely related to increased production from Tesla. Interestingly, the Model 3 remained the same, starting at $40,240 with cheaper options available in inventory. The Model S now starts at $88,490 with Plaid at $108,490. Model X starts at $98,490 with Plaid matching the Plaid Model S at $108,490. These are $1,000 price increases for these cars over their previous prices just a few days ago, and Tesla is still offering 3 years of free supercharging with your order. Now they also note low APR financing on the configurator for these cars. Those are Tesla's least popular cars, so many aren't too worried when prices increase there, but the bigger news is the fact that Tesla has entirely discontinued these cars in a large number of markets. We saw hints of this in the past couple weeks when Tesla changed the configurator for these cars in right-hand drive markets. Now they have officially canceled both of these cars in all right-hand drive markets. So customers waiting for this car since the refresh in 2021 will not be able to buy it after all. Tesla sent an email to customers who have been waiting on these cars and said, quote, "Due to recent changes to the vehicle program, Model X will not be available in right-hand drive. Unfortunately, this means your order is unable to be fulfilled and will be canceled. You will receive a full refund for any payments made. We understand that this may be disappointing news to receive and want to apologize for any inconvenience caused." I've already received emails and communications from frustrated customers because Tesla's communication here, as is often the case, was far from ideal. This is definitely an unfortunate situation. It would be one thing if they canceled them and gave some kind of notice, but some customers have literally been waiting over 2 years to receive these cars, and now they simply aren't going to make them. I think it's another sign that these cars are making less and less sense for Tesla to make. They're expensive and far less popular than the cars they're most focused on. One thing Tesla is doing to hopefully give customers a silver lining here is offering around a $2,000 credit towards the purchase of a Model 3 or Y. So if you've been waiting for a Model S or X refresh this whole time, you can instead get a Model 3 or Y at new lower pricing plus an additional $2,000 off. And overall, you'd be saving probably about half over what you were going to pay for a Model S or X. Interestingly as well, Tesla is releasing left-hand drive versions of the Model S and X for Japan and the UK. Next up today, there have been a lot of rumors going around about a refreshed Model 3, but nothing has been confirmed. We haven't heard anything official from Tesla confirming when they'll see it enter production or what it'll actually end up looking like. That's very much intentional, as it's something they're clearly testing right now. Now, Tesla has reportedly acknowledged at least one of these rumors, though. This all started back in November when a report claimed Tesla was working on a project codenamed Highland. Then it was reported that this new Model 3 would be revealed in the second half of 2023. In December, we started seeing Model 3s with their front and back bumpers covered up being tested in California. Then last month we saw it without the covers, and it had a completely new front end. There's evidence to suggest that this is in fact the reworking of a Model 3, and it lined up with rumors we heard from Not a Tesla app about what this new Model 3 would bring. They detailed redesigned headlights, a bumper camera, rear bumper changes, mirror changes, additional cameras, new sensors, and interior changes for the Model 3 refresh. Now there's an alleged timeline for when this car will enter production. Most recently, the rumor was going around that Tesla is going to manufacture this new Model 3 in China first, and that they're going to begin trial production on June 1st. According to UK Global, a Chinese media outlet, Tesla actually responded to this one to say it wasn't true. UK reports that, quote, Tesla China told UK Global today that rumors it will mass produce the updated Model 3 in Shanghai from June 1st are not true. They didn't report any more details, so it's not really clear if that is Tesla denying the fact that this car will begin production on June 1st, or that it will be produced at all. At this point, I feel like we've seen enough leaks that we can safely assume there is a new Model 3 on the way. So I think what Tesla is denying here is that it's entering production on June 1st. It's also odd to see it come to Shanghai first, since we've been seeing it testing in California. That said, if the new Model 3 ends up coming out of Fremont, it's likely the Model 3 in Shanghai will see an update too. Tesla often does make changes in Shanghai first, but a change this big would be something they'd want to coordinate at the same time in both factories making that car, or else people would just be waiting for the new version from Shanghai to make it to Fremont. It makes sense that Tesla would want to keep this exact release date secret because they don't want to impact their current Model 3 sales. Tesla has been known to deny rumors in the past that kind of ended up being true. Back in November, Reuters reported that Tesla would ship vehicles from China to North America to help with demand. Elon responded to this article on Twitter saying it was false. Now Tesla is shipping vehicles from Shanghai to a port in Washington state. So we still don't know exactly what to expect when it comes to this Model 3 refresh, but just because Tesla has denied one rumor doesn't necessarily mean it's not coming. On top of the rumors of the timeline, back in August, Chris Zhang posted a rumor that the 2023 Model 3 and Y would be removing the left and right paddles in favor of a sliding gear shifter on screen and touch turn signals. This is the setup for the Model S and X today, along with the Tesla Semi as pictured here. That didn't come true on 2023 models, but it appears to be something Tesla is working on changing for the Model 3 refresh. New drone footage flying over Tesla's Fremont factory spotted a Model 3 Project Highland. It's clearly sporting the front and rear coverings, new wheels, and then the big one, the steering wheel from the Model S. This is now the default wheel for the Model S and X and gets rid of stalks. While the interior and dash of the Model 3 are covered up in this photo, we can clearly see that it's a Model S wheel with no stalks to speak of. Here's the drone footage itself, and they're referring to it as Project Dark Star. Most likely when testing this in public, Tesla has been entirely covering up the interior, but it was left open for a moment here as the driver taking it on the test track was outside the vehicle. On top of this, the full drone shot posted on YouTube by Caliber197 shows more. It's around 14 minutes of the Model 3 refresh testing out on the Fremont test track. Overall, it's just doing pretty normal testing. However, some close-ups show us a few particular things. Here we can see into the Model 3, and the center console looks very similar to the Model S. The bar at the base of the wireless chargers is there, and this would be where the backup shifter buttons are located in case the screen were to fail. They are not lit up until you need them, and they would likely light up right in that spot. While filming an overhead shot, we can also see the driver clearly shift into reverse by swiping down on screen. Then sure enough, they back up. This doubly confirms the elimination of stocks on the Project Highland Model 3 they are testing. It has the complete and full setup from the Model S with no stocks, the screen replacing shifting, and backup shifters at the base of the wireless charger. So now we've seen some of the exterior changes and definitely some interior changes. This confirms a few things. For one, Tesla is at least fully testing out the switch to a stockless steering wheel setup, taken from the Model S into the new Model 3. This will be pretty controversial. I'm a fan of the look of the Model S and X and the minimalism with removing the stocks, but I actually prefer the Model Y stocks. They're just easy to use and particularly useful for autopilot. I don't like autopilot being on a scroll wheel on the wheel, and the assumption is this would take the exact Model S setup and move it over to the Model 3 and Y. I think one thing will be essential for this wheel as well, a normal horn. If Tesla ships this wheel on the Model 3, they may find some frustrated customers, but if they still don't update it to have a horn, opting for a touch-sensitive button instead, it will be a deal breaker for some customers. On top of this, I'm really curious to see if Tesla decides to give customers a yoke option on the Model 3 and Y too. If it's the exact same wheel, then it would be an easy change for customers that want it, and today Tesla charges $250 for the yoke upgrade on the Model S and X. Doing the same here would be an interesting blend of a popular option for those who want it, and a frustrating change to a more confusing touch-sensitive controls setup. Seeing as it's one of Tesla's most popular cars, I'm really curious to see what happens here. The next thing this confirms are some interior changes. Tesla wouldn't need to cover up the entire dash behind the steering wheel if it was the exact same design as today. Clearly, they're only covering up parts that are changing on the exterior, so they are likely doing the same inside. According to rumor through Not a Tesla app, the wood trim will be replaced by an Alcantara fabric, and the dash will get a facelift. Not much detail beyond that, but it appears different enough for Tesla to cover it up when testing. Many are then wondering if behind that wheel is an instrument cluster display. I personally don't see this happening on Tesla's cheaper vehicles, especially since the latest Cybertruck prototypes feature one single large screen, but we'll see. Maybe they're going to increase the main screen size or surprise us all by adding an instrument cluster display. The latest rumor for this car is a release date in Q3, and I'm excited to see it. This car has been largely unchanged for 6 years, so a refresh would be welcomed. What do you think though if Tesla changed to remove stocks? Would that be a deal breaker for you? Leave a comment below to let me know your thoughts. Next up today, Tesla has started slashing supercharger prices across Europe. Europe has been experiencing huge swings in electricity rates over the last year amid their ongoing energy crisis, and Tesla had to adjust to that by increasing their supercharger prices. As of September, the cost of charging at a supercharger tripled in some areas. Now though, electricity rates are stabilizing, so it follows that Tesla's supercharger rates can come back down. Many markets across Europe have seen prices decrease by as much as 20%, and in Spain they've decreased by 25%. These price decreases are important to more than just Tesla owners. Tesla has been working steadily to open their supercharger network in Europe to non-Teslas, so there's a larger portion of drivers that are reliant on them now than there used to be. Tesla has said in the past that they were considering turning their supercharger business into a profit center, which would mean they could start raising prices above their own cost. So it's good to see those prices coming down. It seems that for now, Tesla is prioritizing accessibility for EV owners and remaining competitive with supercharging prices. Next up today, Tesla has quietly added a new toggle to their app under security features. This comes in app version 4.20.75, and it changes the way authentication for driving works. Quote, previously a Tesla vehicle would unlock or start if an authorized phone was close enough. Now owners can disable passive authentication, ensuring their vehicle remains locked and won't start unless they manually unlock it using the app or a keycard. Depending on your personal preference, you can decide if it makes sense to keep this on or off. If you're afraid you'll accidentally unlock your car from your phone and allow someone to drive away, this could prevent that. It's a small change, but could come in very handy for those that want this extra layer of security instead of or in addition to having PIN to drive on. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. Honda has unveiled their second fully electric vehicle in Germany. This is currently called the eNY1 and will be the first built on their own dedicated EV platform called EN Architecture F. They say it will have a low center of gravity and underfloor aerodynamics for a dynamic driving experience. The Prologue should be first, but will be built in partnership with GM. This new vehicle will be an SUV, have a 68.8 kilowatt-hour battery, and up to 256 miles WLTP range. That will likely be around 225 miles EPA range, which right off the bat is not great for any EV with a battery that large. Honda says it will charge from 10 to 80% in 45 minutes. It has an updated interior, new center console, wireless charger, and more, and will go on sale in Europe later this year. As stated by Electrek, Honda isn't planning to release its second second fully electric EV in the US until 2026. By then, it may be too little too late. Honda may need to adjust its timeline again or risk falling further behind. Over at Cadillac, they have been spotted testing a new vehicle. While the Cadillac Lyriq has only sold 122 units so far, GM as a whole has huge plans for future EVs. Cadillac also plans to make the wildly expensive Celestiq, but Car Spy Media spotted a new EV that appears to be similarly sized to the Cadillac XT4. The big tip-off is the fake grille, which guarantees that this car is electric. It also takes design cues from the Lyriq. It's expected, based on rumor, to be built in Mexico and come in around 181 inches long. VW has teased a new version of the flagship ID7, the GTX. Initially, the ID7 will come in two trims, the Pro and Pro S, with 77 kilowatt-hour batteries and up to 170 kilowatt charging speeds. The Pro S will have an 86 kilowatt-hour battery pack and 200 kilowatt charging. Then the GTX is expected to improve a lot of other aspects of the car. It will have a dual-motor all-wheel drive system, new design features like red stitching throughout, enhanced running gear and steering, and more horsepower. The ID7 overall is scheduled to launch in Europe and China in the fall, and North America in 2024. With each of these EVs, seeing these low charging speeds is a bit disappointing. It'll be interesting to see how they compete when people truly experience a road trip charging on EVs and experience the difference between 170 kilowatt speeds and 350 kilowatt speeds like some EVs offer. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see the details of Tesla's future batteries, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.